Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub Pub Sports Radio at a special start time. Excuse me, my voice is not ready for this early start time, apparently, on this Martin Luther King Day. Good to be with you Monday, January 16th. I hope you enjoy the holiday. And obviously, with the holiday comes a lot of matinee sports. NHL, NBA, college basketball, tons of day games going on. So looking forward to breaking down this card. We've got yours truly, Ian Cameron, Skee Profit, Trot Wham, Billy Briz with you and ready to break down this special Monday Martin Luther King Day card. Let's get right into it. We've got 9 games. We'll begin in Charlotte with the Celtics and the Hornets. Boston, an 8.5 point road favorite in this one, 230.5 being the total in this game. Now, when you look at this matchup, you know, obviously the Charlotte Hornets at the defensive end of the floor have kind of been lacking of late, also been trending over the total as a result. But I kind of pump the brakes with these early start games, especially the early afternoon games on Martin Luther King Day when it comes to overs. Why? Because the long-term thought process and trends have been low-scoring basketball for a lot of these early games on Martin Luther King Day. So I'm probably for that reason going to pass on the total. You know, as far as the side is concerned, you worry about focus just a little bit for Boston, you know, as the big road favorite. And for the most part this season, they've not been great when they've been laying these 8-9 point favorite type of numbers or higher. Now, the last 2 times they have been in this role, they have covered New Orleans at home. They won by 11, and then they played at Charlotte on Saturday, and they won by 16. But they're playing that same Charlotte team again, same team, same place, 2 games in a row. You just worry about focus a little bit, especially with Golden State coming up next for the Boston Celtics after that. So I'm going to do a small shot here with the Charlotte Hornets first half and full game. Not a big bet. And I know this Hornets team is not very good at the defensive end of the floor, but I worry about this spot from a focus standpoint, from an intensity perspective here for the Boston Celtics in this one. Skee, let's go to you with this one. What do you think here, Boston, Charlotte?
I do think it's more of an under game, but really just I see 2 teams going opposite ways. But the Hornets have lost 4 in a row. I know that. And just looking like the ways they're losing, back-to-back blowout losses and Celtics off blowout wins. So all the recent performance stats obviously going to favor the Celtics. And just thinking about their games, you know, when they win, they usually cover. They cover 75, a little bit under 76% of their 31 wins. And for the Hornets, it's the opposite. They covered 9 of their 33 losses. They usually lose by margin, like 12.3 points per game. So if I just, think who's going to win this game, it's the Celtics, and I'm going to lay the 8 points.
All right, Boston to get the job done here. What do you think here, Wham, Boston and Charlotte?
Yeah, I got a lot of ways I'm thinking. I'm thinking under with my boy Skee here. I think Boston may clamp up here. They've been actually playing pretty good defense over the last 3 games, allowing, I believe, 108 points, a lot better than what they've been doing for the full season. They're 112, just 106 points. I'm sorry. So 112 is what they've been doing on the road and for the full season as well. I think that this Charlotte team is going the other direction, bro. I mean, we all kind of figured it was just a lot of wins that they've been missing out on. And as far as this team with Boston not having Jaylen Brown, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. Obviously, they beat them the last game recently, and then have been on a consistent streak here. So I'm thinking that this Boston team is for sure. I haven't bet the first quarter yet, but I'm thinking the first quarter is a good spot to take here, or with the -2.5. What I did actually end up betting was my friends put me on the Marcus Smart double-double. When Jaylen Brown's out, he's had double-doubles in consecutive games. So I did take a stab at that. Nothing official there with that one, but I did hop on that. And I'm thinking of under with my guy Skee here. So that's the way I'm looking here in this game. But it's a lot of games here on some action here. But that first quarter is probably the first official play that I would play, though.
All right, Billy, what are you liking here?
Yeah, man. I do like the Celtics here, man. They're 5-1 ATS last 6 meetings in Charlotte, and they just kind of blew out Charlotte. Charlotte feels like they're like Wham said, going the other way. And if I think the Celtics are going to win here, and they're going to be without Jaylen Brown here, I got to go with Jason Tatum over 32.5 points, -125. He's covered 3 out of his last 4 games without Jaylen Brown in the lineup. Celtics are 4-0 ATS this year without Jaylen Brown in the lineup. Tatum's been averaging 32.8 points, 8.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists. If the Celtics weren't playing 2 games in 3 days and as big of a spread as they were, I probably would rock with them here, but Tatum or pass.
All right, next up here, Indiana and Milwaukee. We've got the Bucks 9.5, 10-point home favorites in this matchup, and the total 233.5 in this one. The betting market's not concerned about one of these lower scoring type of early afternoon MLK Day games with this totals move going up 5 points in this one. Pacers in a little bit of a funk, I guess you could say right now for sure. Losses in 3 straight games against the Knicks, the Hawks, and the Grizzlies. Blowout loss to the Grizzlies at home, 130-112 in their last game. The Milwaukee Bucks, well, they've lost 2 in a row to Miami as well. So both of these teams kind of slumping going into this matchup. You look at season series history, and it's been pretty much in favor of Milwaukee. They've won all 4 regular season matchups to this point, 4-0 straight up, 3-1 against the spread, head-to-head versus the Indiana Pacers. You know, it looks like in terms of player status today, Miles Turner for the Pacers is questionable with a back injury, still without, of course, Tyrese Halliburton. And you want to point to why the Pacers are suddenly slumping? Yeah, point to Tyrese Halliburton being out. It has been a different team without him, no question about that. As far as on the Bucks side of the equation here, Drew Holiday is battling an ankle issue, but he is going to play, it looks like, in this game today. And Giannis Antetokounmpo expected to suit up as well for the Milwaukee Bucks after missing both of those games that they lost to the Miami Heat. So it looks like it could be all hands on deck. Bobby Portis right now is also looking like he's going to play through a quadriceps injury. So it looks like all these players, Portis, Holiday, and the Greek Freak, that were battling injuries that are still ongoing, but they're going to play through them here in this game today. This is a tough one because I just don't feel comfortable ever in this price range laying it with Milwaukee. They've had some duds this year. I can't get out of my mind the game that they were hosting Charlotte. They were a big favorite, and they didn't even show up. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get from this team. Yet Indiana's clearly a completely shot basketball team right now, it seems, without Ty Halliburton. So it's not easy to get behind them. If I had to trust one of these two, I'd probably take the points with Indiana. I just don't want to lay it this much with Milwaukee right now. I really don't. So the lean for me for sure would be the Indiana side plus the points. Skee, what do you think here, Pacers and Bucks?
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you joining us early today. Wham know where I'm going. You know, our boy not here today, so I'm gonna go ahead and back with this one for him.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to our guy Dutch, of course, who's usually on Mondays. He's got the Monday off today, but yeah, there's a little ode and tribute to him right there. First backwood of this MLK card right there. Wham, how about you, Indy, Milwaukee?
Yeah, we got some backwoods on this motherfucker. That's for sure, bro. And I love when my boy went straight to the chat. I already knew. I knew what it was there. I already knew. But yeah, my boy's about to hit me with it. No, I actually find interest in this game, Vic. So hold on, bro. I find interest in this game, and the reason being is because the Bucks are probably playing this game series. Those last 2 games that they lost, it was no Giannis, bro. Giannis goes as far as this Bucks team goes. So when Giannis comes back, then you get your Drew Holiday guy come back without Tyrese Halliburton, bro. We seen what happened with this team against an actual team that care about the regular season games in Memphis. They came out there and did what they had to do in the first half. Thinking about doing it again. I had cashed that first half with Memphis that last game. I'm going to fade them again in the first half. I'm going to take the Bucks first half -5.5. I believe I got that at. I may be confused here with another bet there, but I believe I got that at 5.5. I just think they're going to win by double digits early on, and then maybe they fall off in the second half. They have some pretty good players with the Pacers, but I just don't think that it's going to be their night tonight. It's one of those games that I think that the good teams that are showing that they're good is going to show off today. So I like the Bucks and another team to come out in the first half later on. We'll talk about as well. Just similar thought processes. Basically, these guys are going to show up, show business against weak teams like the Pacers. So give me the Bucks in an early spot here. As far as any props, I don't really have any props here because I think it's going to be distributed all the way around. Only thing I know is that Giannis is going to go off maybe probably a 40+ point game today. So, and I do like that Miles Turner is possibly going to be missing again in this game. So I do like that look as well. If he is in the lineup, I don't really care. It's going to be a dunk fest for Giannis for sure.
Yeah, it really could be a dunk fest though without Miles Turner. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, I was kind of digging what you were saying, but Bano, I know the Pacers are 1-7 ATS last 8 meetings in Milwaukee, 3-10 ATS last 13 meetings. But I mean, Milwaukee's a good team to back at home, but I feel like this is too many points for the Milwaukee Bucks to be covering at home. I mean, we're just coming in here and laying double digits with them. I don't know, man. A little bit too soon. The Pacers are dealing with a ton of injuries, so I kind of like what William's saying. First half -5.5 would be a good look. I think this should be a solid prop game, though. I took Brook Lopez over 5.5 rebounds, -150. I think Brook's going to get in there, bang down low, and if Turner's not in there too, I think that's going to go to 6.5 at chalk money eventually. So I think we're getting ahead of the curve here. Buddy Hield over 24.5 points and rebounds is definitely on the radar. I don't like the defensive matchup for the Pacers, but these would be some props I would be circling for the next couple of days. Andrew Nembhard over 6.5 assists, -115. I don't like the matchup, but that would definitely be a prop I'll get on by the end of the week.
All right. As we continue along here, New Orleans and Cleveland. Cavaliers 7-point home favorites, 222.5 the total in this game. Pelicans still no Zion Williamson, still no Brandon Ingram as well, and possibly still no Herb Jones as well, who's missed the last 2 games against the Celtics and the Pistons, still dealing with the back issues. We'll see if he's able to return for the Pelicans today. They beat Detroit in their last game on Friday night, 116-110. Squeaked it out there with the Pelicans laying the points 5.5, and they win by 6 for yours truly in that game. Next, and Cleveland on the flip side, they've kind of, the road trip. This is kind of a tricky spot too for Cleveland. They had a 5-game road trip: Denver, Phoenix, Utah, Portland, Minnesota. They go 2-4 or 2-3 rather on that 5-game road trip. Now they're back home. Not exactly a bet on spot. I've loved this team all year on their home floor, 18-4 straight up, and 14-7-1 against the spread at home this year, the Cleveland Cavaliers. But it's not exactly let's lay 7-point spot here for the Cavs off the road trip. Pelicans getting a healthy number. I'm actually leaning to the road dog here, plus the points. If Herb Jones is a no-go, that's going to have me looking maybe over this number. I know Cleveland is not going to really push pace, and we know they're very capable defensively, but even Cleveland has trended over 3 of the last 5 games. Pelicans have been over machines lately, and obviously you're talking about a great defender not in the lineup if he doesn't go. So if there's no Herb Jones, I like the over, and regardless, I think I might like the points here with the Pelicans here. Tricky spot off a road trip for Cleveland. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, you said it, the flat spot off of the long road trip for the Cavaliers. Also, the Pelicans been playing better defense, been a better rebounding team lately. So I'll just look at all those things, and I could only look towards grabbing the points. It's nothing that's in my pocket, but just wouldn't take the Cavs today.
All right, there we go. Wouldn't take the Cavs today. I would agree with that. What do you think here, Wham?
Yeah, Najee Marshall, man. That's who I'm thinking, bro. I'm thinking of keying on the boy. He has 17 points, 18 points, 18 points, 24, 23 points over the last 4 games. His points total is set at 16.5 points. I mean, who else? Herb Jones is out. Who forward they have out there? They don't have Brandon Ingram, don't have Zion. Najee Marshall is the guy I'm looking at today. Nothing official yet, but that's the play I'm going for in this game.
All right, Billy, how about you here?
Yeah, I like what Wim's talking about with Najee Marshall. He definitely came on my radar too. I would say I wouldn't be against betting the points, rebounds, and assists because he's been contributing in all the categories. He's gone over his rebounds and assists in 7 out of his last 11 games this season without Zion and BI in the game. I thought that was a little bit interesting. I mean, it's hard to fade the Cavs at home, but I don't really want to put the Cavs in my pocket. I also lean towards CJ McCollum over 25.5 points, but ultimately a backwood for me.
All right. Yeah.
All right, next up, it's Raptors-Knicks at Madison Square Garden. We've got the Knicks 2.5-point home favorites, 218 the total in this game. Raptors have been a thorn in the Knicks' side for a very long time, well, at least until the last couple of meetings where the Knicks have actually gotten the better of the Raptors. It's changed a little bit, and this year they've split the 2 meetings. The road team has won and covered each game. Toronto won here at MSG in December, and then a couple weeks later, just 10 days ago here in early January, Knicks returned the favor with a win in Toronto, 112-108. So road team won and covered each game this season. Raptors off a loss to Atlanta on Saturday night, 114, 103. As far as the injury situations go, this is actually as healthy as the Raptors have been in a very, very long time. However, Fred VanVleet is questionable with, again, the back issues, which have just been constant for him, it seems. So he's questionable for this game. But other than that, again, this Raptors team is about as healthy as they've been in quite some time. So are the Knicks, actually. So you got no really major injuries. It doesn't look like anyone's resting. And RJ Barrett is back, of course, now for the Knicks as well. So we'll see what kind of impact that has. Both of the meetings, by the way, these two teams did end up going over the total. I think I'd lean that way just because of where the number is, what the series history has been. Again, we saw 112, 108, 113, 106 in the two meetings, both of them overs between these two teams. You look at this Raptors team, defensively not the same group. They've gone over the total at a 4-3 clip in their last 7 games. So I lean a little bit over the total. I don't really have a strong feel for the side either way. Kind of lean Toronto if Fred plays. If he doesn't, it's like I said, the road team's been good here in this series this year. We'll have to wait and see, but I'd look at the over, probably nothing in this game, depending on, of course, Freddie's status, because he does help them offensively. Although his three-point shooting hasn't been anywhere as close to as good as it's been in the past. What do you think here, Skee? Raptors, Knicks?
I disagree. I like the under, and I'm looking at a couple of different things. For one, I just think, the way that they've been playing lately, you have the Knicks, the second slowest playing team in the league, and Raptors bottom 10 as well. You have a Raptors team who's already second worst shooting the three and could be without VanVleet versus a Knicks who's top 5 3-point defense. So not going to see a whole lot of threes tonight. That helps for the under. And for the Raptors side, I was looking at when they're off a double-digit loss and you just have, a decent total is higher than 213. You can go back a few years. They're a little bit above 60% to the under. And I think they've cashed 4 of the last 5. I'll go back and check in that kind of situation as well. So all of that I like. On the other side, I'm looking at home teams on an under streak in the regular season division game. They are 430 unders, 315 overs. That's 57.7% to the under. So a lot of things lining up for me to go under the 218 today.
Yeah, not to mention MLK Day afternoon game. And of course, as we've mentioned throughout the show, more unders than overs in these kind of situations as well. What do you think here, Wham?
Yeah, I like what Skee's saying right there. I'm thinking that way as well. But I didn't have nothing for this game. I wasn't even going to come up here and try to give y'all any force feed props. Obviously, if you've been cashing with Julius Randle, keep doing that. Other than that, man, this is a backwood for me, bro.
All right. Yeah.
All right, Billy.
Yeah, this game actually did make my card. The Knicks aren't the most reliable home team. They're 2-5 ATS in their last 7 home games, but 5-2 in their last 7 games overall. And they're playing better basketball right now than this Toronto Raptors squad. I mean, I wish the Raptors were a little bit more reliable of a road team because on paper, this looks like a spot for them. But they're only 4-9 ATS in the last 13 road games. I'm on the Knicks first half money line here, -135.
All right, Golden State, Washington. We've got Golden State 2.5-point road favorites, 236 the total. Talk about teams not reliable at home at times. How about one that's not reliable on the road? Holy crap, Golden State. What happened to them last night against Chicago, or yesterday against Chicago? 132-118, another road beatdown suffered by this team. Terrible defensive effort as well. 48 of 95 from the floor for the Bulls in that 14-point blowout victory. Now it's a back-to-back situation as well to make matters worse for the Warriors going into this game. It's a team that looks like Klay Thompson not going to play here for the Warriors today, rested. So Curry's in, Poole, Wiggins, Green, and Looney look like going to be the starting 5. Bradley Beal on the Washington side. Wes Unseld, the coach there, said the hamstring issue, that he's questionable. He did participate in practice yesterday. So after missing the last 4 games, it's sounding like he's trending upward in terms of maybe playing here in this game. But I don't know how you lean anywhere but Washington. I get it. They're off a blowout loss. Golden State, maybe pride takes over. But, man, they're on a back-to-back. They've shown you absolutely nothing on the road. They were road favorites. Okay, it's at San Antonio. They did show up on the road. But, again, we're talking about one of the absolute worst teams in the NBA. the San Antonio Spurs. I can't lay it with the Golden State Warriors on the road. I've said that before, and I'm not going to do it here today. If Beal's a go, even if he isn't, I mean, I'm definitely eyeing this Washington side here, home underdogs. Skee, what do you think here, Golden State, Washington?
Yeah, I just think about Golden State, and everybody knows how poor they've been on the road, and a lot of that is because they don't play any defense. I know they're allowing, I think, a little bit more than 123 points per game there, and that's why they're 15-3-2 to the over on the road. So I'm thinking that way. They're playing at the third fastest pace the last 5 games, and both teams bottom 10. Bottom 10 defensive rated teams the last 5 as well. We also have a Warriors team who's top 5 shooting a three on the season, and a Wizards team who's bottom 10 defending it. So I just think it'll be an up-tempo game. I don't think a whole lot of defense will be played from either side, and also from the Wizards side, they are coming off a game where, the only person who's scoring was Kyle Kuzma. Everybody else was just throwing up bricks. So I'm expecting the Wizards to shoot a little bit better in this game here, and that should get us up and over the total.
Yeah, again, you've got to still do your matchup handicapping. It's one of those situations where you just can't say, oh, it's a Martin Luther King Day, it's an afternoon game, early start game, it's going to go under. No, you've still got to look at the matchups, and how can you bet an under with Golden State right now? I mean, you look at these last 3 games. I mean, it's just been up and down and very little defense, flying over the total each of these games. So I'm with Skee there. It's over nothing for me with this total. And like I said, I like the Wizards a little bit here, plus 2.5 as well. What do you think here, Wham?
I think the Wizards going to be clanking tonight, man. I think the Wizards going to be clanking, bro. I feel like Clay. You said it, Skee. As far as Kyle Kuzma and bust, bro, that's kind of what they've been at recently. And the Warriors, man, this has to be a good opportunity for them to be able to cover on the road, win this game convincingly, and show, again, like I was saying earlier, that they're a good team going up against a bad team. The Wizards, I think Bradley Beal may be trying to do a Kawhi impression. He got paid. He probably not trying to play. I don't know how that's going to work. If he does play today, I think that's actually good for me because I am locked in on the minus 2.5 with the Warriors. I think that they're going to come out and handle business today. I know how bad they've been playing recently. I do know that they suck covering the games. I think they only covered 4 games on the road so far this year out of 20-something around there. So I'm all the way locked in on that. I am going to be also locked in on the player prop for the Warriors because I believe that they are going to be clanking for the Wizards. They're ranked 28th in the opposing rebounds, 2 forwards. We're going to go Draymond Green over 7.5 rebounds. It's at plus 115. I believe that that's a good bet. He's hit 4 of the last 5 games. Again, these guys haven't been able to stop forwards from getting rebounds. And if you have Klay Thompson, who is already out, guy that would be normally in a certain position to get those rebounds, I do like it'll be a little bit uptick for Draymond. So Draymond over 7.5 rebounds at plus 115. And then I took the minus 2.5 with the Warriors. I think they're coming out third quarter fashion, win convincingly.
All right, liking Golden State with conviction. All right, Billy, what do you think?
I'm on the opposite end, man. I feel like the Warriors haven't really been playing that well. They're 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games overall, and just 8-21 ATS last 29 road games. And the one ATS cover, like Babano said, was against the Spurs and the Alamodome, and they had the most highest attendance. I mean, if there wasn't a game you were going to get up for, it would be that one, especially on a collegiate floor. I mean, I feel like the Wizards, even though they're 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games, I mean, they're getting Bradley Beal back for this one. And if Bradley Beal's back for this one, I think the Wizards would fit with the rest of the build of just fade the Warriors on the road. I mean, it's been a cash cow all year. I kind of wanted to play Andrew Wiggins props, but he's on a minutes limit. He's barely playing 30 minutes. So ultimately, I think the best thing to do is backward for this one.
All right. Yeah.
All right, Miami and Atlanta. We've got the Miami Heat 1-point road favorites in the ATL 223. The total in this game, the Atlanta Hawks. It looks like as far as they've had a lot of injuries this year, but they are getting healthier. No question about that. As far as today goes, they're waiting on Clint Capella to return, and it's sounding like he might make his return here tonight. So That does impact my thought on this game because I definitely want to back Miami here. That was my first thought. I want to take Miami here. I think they can win this game. It's certainly the lean for me, but part of that was I thought that Bam is going to just own the paint without Capella there, and if Capella's there, that's going to make things a little more difficult if he does return. But again, he hasn't played in forever. Is he going to be in tip-top shape? Is he going to be in great rhythm? First game, he hasn't played in forever. This guy. Let's not forget
minutes
that.
restriction for sure.
And exactly right, Wham. Minutes restriction, but still an upgrade, obviously, from Onyeka Okongwu, certainly. But we're still talking about checking Bam Adebayo. It's not easy. Either way, I still don't really fully trust Atlanta. I mean, they beat a Raptors team that's been way down this year, and they beat Indiana without Ty Halliburton. So how much credit do you want to give them for those two victories? They still got to show it to me. They are at home, obviously, where they do have a better record than they do on the road. Miami, we know, has been inconsistent, but I kind of like what I'm starting to see out of Miami. They've been a point spread machine lately. Their last 8 games, they're 6-2 against the number. They've had wins during that span, against the Clippers, against the Suns, Milwaukee twice back to back. One of those, both of those without Giannis. I get it, but Miami's starting to play a little bit better basketball. The defense that we've become accustomed to with the Heat under Eric Spoelstra is starting to return to form as well. They've been a better defensive team in the last 5 or 6 games. So even with the return potentially of Capella, I like Miami here at a pick 'em price to get the win. And by the way, Trae Young for Atlanta, left shoulder issue, but looks like he's going to be able to go for Atlanta in this game. What do you think here, Skee? Heat, Hawks?
Yeah, Capella should be on a minutes limit tonight. And, I think Bam's going to have success here. He's been averaging, 11 and a half rebounds for a little bit over a month now. And when he's playing these bottom 10 rebounding teams, he's averaging 12 on the season. So I like him up and over his 10 and a half rebounds today. Especially Atlanta is the second worst rebounding team the last 5 games. So that's the first way I got to go. And I also like the under here. I know they've went under the last 5 meetings. I'm not sure if it goes back more than that, but I know the last 5 have all went under. And Heat playing slowest pace in the league the last 5 games. Also, the number 1 defensive rated team. You say 7 games, Ryan?
No, yep, 7. Yeah, last
7 straight unders. Yep, head to head. Yep.
And then, also both teams bottom 10 shooting at 3 so far this season. You got the Hawks top 5 defending it. So I like all of that. And then that same thing I talked about earlier, since 2016, you just have home teams on an under streak. They're 430 and 315, which is 57.7% to the under during regular season division matchups. That also applies to this game. So I just think it's, lower scoring. I got 224 and a half. I still would take it under the 223.
All right, there we go. Liking the under here, and this one is Skee. All right, Wham, what do you think here, Miami, Atlanta?
Yeah, I like that look a lot. I like the under with this game as well. I think Skee is on to something there with that, especially again, 7 straight unders in the meetings, bro. And this is being that it is on a Martin Luther King day. They're going to be wearing their Martin Luther King jerseys, of course. If they don't wear them, I would be so disappointed. I'm just going to be like, I haven't seen anything official there, but come on, y'all got to wear them today. It's only MLK Day. And that being said, I'm going to go with them as well. I think Atlanta, if you fading Atlanta today, bro, come on, man. You should. Shame on you, bro. Shame on you. Don't fade Atlanta on MLK Day. It's only right. I'm taking the money line here at plus 105. I believe I got it at. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to just double check that out. But I think that Atlanta holds it down there. I think Trae Young holds it down as well, bro. I think Trae Young continues to go over the total. I think he continues to keep, as far as the points, he's at 6 of his last 6 games. He's hit the over 26 and a half, I believe, 5 times in that span in the last 6 games there. So he has been going over his point total. I'm not really worried about his threes. I know we have talked about how bad his threes has been. In this game, I think he's going to be more so trying to get to the paint, trying to get those lobs to Capella, try to get that everyone else involved. So he might be on an assist reach there, but and shout out to Mitch Armstrong says Bill is going to be out there.
Bill out. Yep.
Shout out to that, bro. Appreciate you guys with that. But I think that Skee is right as well, taking Bam with the boards. I think our guy Joe said 29th on the boards over the last 5 games, what they've been ranked as far as the Hawks. You do want Capella out there, minutes restriction or not. But I think that what's going to happen is that they're going to be able to score on this team a lot easier than they have been over the last recent games. So I think the Hawks are the play here. And again, man, if you fading the Hawks today, bro, shame on you, man. It's MLK Day, bro. Don't do that.
I am. Miami's the better basketball team. I am. What do you think here, Billy?
I'm right there with Wham, dude. You don't fade the Hawks on MLK Day, and you rock with the Trae Young point prop, top prop of the day, over 25.5 points, minus 125. He's had 25 points, 6 of his last 7 games, and over his last 13 games, we're back to the R-star Trae Young that we're used to seeing, 28 points, 10 assists, 40% from the three-point line, 89% from the free throw line. Trae Young's going to go up and over on prime time. Let's go, Trae Young.
Yeah, well, definitely prime time. Yeah, it is a national TV game, this one. So we'll see how he performs on home floor against Miami. All right, Utah, Minnesota. We've got Minnesota 2-point home favorites, 234.5 being the total in this game. We've got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm telling you what, starting to get their game together. 6 of their last 7, they've won, and 5-2 ATS during that span. Starting to like what I see here from this Minnesota Timberwolves squad. Now they take on this Jazz team that coming off a real tough loss against Philly. Battled tough, lost by 1 as 7-point dogs on Saturday night. We'll see if they can rebound here from that game as they take to the road to begin this actually, it's just a 1-game road trip. They're in Minnesota, then they're back home. Again, this Jazz team going into this one. But I like the way Minnesota's playing here. It looks like from a personnel standpoint, Lauri Markkanen for the Jazz is questionable with a hip injury. It's a massive deal because he's been so good for them throughout the course of the season. We'll see if he's able to suit up for Utah. He missed the game against Philly the other night. Towns is still out for the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, questionable with a hip issue for this game, but he's kind of played through. He's had that thing going for a few games, and he's played through it. So I'd expect him to play. Same with Gobert. Gobert's questionable with the groin, but he hasn't missed time. So I'd expect him to be in there as well for the Wolves. I like the Wolves here. And I just bet the money line rather than the -2, which is around -130 or so. I think they get the win. I like that they're starting to get their game going. And quite honestly, they're expected to be better than Utah this season, and they're starting to show it. I think the last few games they'll have a better record than Utah within the next week or so. I would say 14-9 on the home floor, and keep in mind the Jazz are still only 8-16 straight up on the road this year. So I like Minnesota here just to win the game. I'll take them on the money line here. Skee, what do you think? Jazz, Timberwolves.
My guy Wham said it earlier. It's a lot of backwoods on this card, man. I'm going to go ahead and back with this one.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I like the over as well. And this one makes sense. It's been an over series history. Utah's really trending over the total of late, big time in their games. So I think the over's worth a look as well. High total, but high for a reason. What do you think here, Wham?
Yeah, man, we got 140 people watching right now. Y'all know what to do, man. Hit the like button, family. We come in here early. Got my shirt wrinkled. I'm just wiping the crust out my eye, bro. Trying to get the day started. Yeah. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know how I feel about this game already. And shout out to Dan Kelly, Kadesha. Shout out to Real Deal Prime, Slow Jams. Y'all know what to do. Back with this motherfucker, bro.
All right.
All right, Billy, how about you? Are you brave like me getting involved here?
I'll take it a step even further, man. Not only do you hit the like and subscribe button, go over to the sister channel at Pub Culture TV. Currently, La Chimosa, the #1 podcast in San Antonio. Bumper versus Grandma Rose, the biggest arm wrestling event of 2023. So make sure you go after this stream, pop into the other stream, show some love to the sisters over there. But back with this, man.
All right.
All right, we go on to Phoenix and Memphis. Memphis 10.5-point home favorites, 229 the total in this one. It's still pretty much, other than DeAndre Ayton, and I guess you could say Mikal Bridges, pretty much a B squad, backup squad for the Phoenix Suns right now, continuing to be the trotting out there every game for Monty Williams just because of all the injuries. Booker, Paul, Payne, Cam Johnson, all looks like still out for the Phoenix Suns moving forward. We'll see if that matters here. I mean, Phoenix had that crazy game against Golden State where they just rose up and they were extremely good Everyone played out of their minds, out of their skull good, and then they fell flat the next night against Denver. I kind of figured that number was creeping up a bit too far with Minnesota the other night. And sure enough, Phoenix, they didn't get off to a good start, but they rallied back in the second half. Huge fourth quarter, and they wound up losing by 5 and covering the closing number, the Phoenix Suns. So I got to give this depleted, shorthanded group credit. Play their tails off, for the most part. Denver was a bad spot. It was back-to-back. They had nothing left in the tank. But, I'm not rushing to lay this much against this team. That being said, Memphis is rolling, man. 9 straight wins. Covered 6 of those. You look at the recent victories on their home floor, they've been extremely strong there. That being said, last 3 home games, won those games, but won by 5 against Utah, 8 against San Antonio, 6 against San Antonio. A win by that margin here for Memphis isn't going to cash you a ticket if you're laying the points with the Grizzlies. So, this is tricky. I'd actually lean Suns, just because you've seen this backup squad just play, play their hearts out, pretty much in the two of the 3 games they did. The Denver game, like I say, you can give them a free pass for that. It was a brutal spot, at the night after beating Golden State. But, Memphis hasn't been covering these kind of numbers and hasn't been winning by this type of margin the last 3 home games. So has me leaning toward Phoenix a little bit in this one. I definitely like over the total as well. Memphis been over machine, 6 straight overs. A lot of them are flying well into the 230s, and you're talking about 228.5, 229 with this total. So the over makes some sense to me. What do you think here, Skee? Suns, Grizz?
Yeah, I gave y'all what I got for today, man. I'm letting you know right now. These last couple games, I'm
Don't
through.
worry.
Yeah,
I got him, bro.
what you got, Wham? Because it's a backwood for me.
All right. Yeah.
Wham, what
play
do
the
you got?
backwood. Yeah, we don't even got to play the backwood, Vic, on this one. Don't play around with yourself, you guys. It's 10.5 for a reason. It's 10.5 for a reason. We know who's out for the Suns, bro. We know who's been trending on the other side.
Yeah.
Take the Grizzlies early. 5 straight covers in the first half. They've been covering 7 out of the last 10. Take the Grizzlies early. They're not playing around. Josh said those comments. It fell flat because they got smacked against Golden State. But since then, it's starting to seem like the West ain't shit. And they did win this last game with a lot of the guys that are out in the lineup. So I expect them guys to hold it down, come through, pull it off. 6.5. I already locked it in. This is the best bet for the day, man. Grizzlies, first half. Lock it in, bro.
All right, Grizzlies to smash early for Wham here in this one against the Phoenix Suns. All right, I believe we've reached the final game. Yes, we have. Houston and LA Lakers. Lakers 5.5, 6-point home favorites. The total in this one, 236 across the board. For the Lakers, they are playing back-to-back in, basically it's back-to-back with no travel, and you're in the same place. You played the Clippers last night at Crypto Arena, and they lost 121-100. No, that was the Rockets, my bad. Rockets lost to the Clippers 121-100. Both teams did play yesterday, though, so it's back-to-back for both teams. Lakers at home against the Sixers, 113-112. Houston was against the Clippers, and they lost 121-100. So both of these teams back-to-back, and both of these teams, too, 0 travel. Lakers were at home to the Sixers, and Houston was in L.A. against the Clippers yesterday. So both of these teams back-to-back. I mean, how do you trust Houston? They've lost 10 in a row. So many of these losses have been by double digits, but how do you lay points with the Lakers? This kind of points. I mean, at home, they've actually been winning some games against inferior competition at times as well. Dallas and Philly, you can see why they'd lose those two, but it kind of feels like the Lakers could win and cover. Like, I really don't know how I could back the Rockets here, even getting 5.5, 6. I'm just going to stick. I'm not even going to worry about the side in this game. I'm just going to stick to points, and points. I mean, both of these teams should get up and down. Both of these teams, have trended over the total against each other. The last 2 meetings were 269 and 255. Okay, total points, 269 and 255 in the last 2 meetings with these teams. That's what I'm betting. Just stick to the total. Neither team is trustworthy on the defensive end of the basketball court. So over the total for me with the Rockets and Lakers. Skee, I know you don't have much, but any words on this game? Other than backward.
I probably would agree. I would expect points. I know the Lakers like to play up tempo. Rockets like to play up tempo, and neither one of these teams. Well, Lakers actually playing a little bit of defense right now, better than I expect whenever AD is out. So I don't like that, but I know the Rockets still not playing any defense. So the only way I could look in this game is up and over, but I won't be involved. I'm trying to enjoy my day today.
There you
Stay
go.
away from the Laker game.
I mean, no Lakers betting, maybe even no Lakers watching. You'll maybe even enjoy the day even better. What do you think here, Wham?
How can I do this? How can I say this? Well, he's averaged 5.5 3-point attempts, y'all. I know I gotta go back to the well with this shit, man. Jabari Smith over 1.5 3-point makes, man. I'm not gonna say too much because we suck. I expect points. I expect him to shoot. He got over this total last game. I secretly bet that, didn't give it out. I feel scandalous if I didn't give it out today. So Jabari Smith over 1.5 3-point makes. Other than that, yeah, I think Russ got fouled on that last play, but man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Embiid low-key grabbed his wrist. I think the Lakers might get a little love from the refs here today. I'm not gonna lie, they might get a little love. They might win and cover this game too. I'm not gonna be on them. I'm gonna be on the other side with Jabari Smith. Hits the 2.5 threes. 1.5 threes, and that's it, bro.
All right, there we go. Jabari Smith time for Wham with props. That's it for him in this game. Billy, what do you think? Rockets, Lakers.
Oh my it's Daryl shit, man. I don't give a fuck what the spread is, man. I'm rocking with the Lakers here, bro. The Rockets are fucking terrible, dude. They've lost 15 out of their last 16 games. They're probably not gonna have Kevin Porter Jr. for this one. If the Lakers weren't the Lakers, they would be 8-point favorites. I think there's value on the Lakers here. I'm probably gonna take the Lakers first half. Lakers are good money tonight, man. Don't let that go past you tonight. If you need a little parlay piece, it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers tonight.
All right, Lakers to win and cover, says Billy Briz. Yeah, I actually would take the Lakers before I take the Rockets. That I can't, like, the Rockets are just, they're getting blown out and blown off the court on a nightly basis right now. All right, good stuff. That is a special MLK Monday edition of the NBA Pub Up. Thanks to everyone. 161 live viewers. Come on, hit that like button, show some love. Also become a YouTube member for Pub Sports Radio. $4.99 a month. It's worth it. Incentives, perks. If you want more cash giveaways from the man himself, Jeff Slaughter, and contests and Pub Sports Radio gatherings in the future, that's what's going to help get more of them, is becoming a member of the YouTube channel. $4.99 a month. So make sure you sign up for that. We will be back with our best bets following messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke. Southtown 101 and manscaped.com. Promo code PubSports, 20% off and free shipping with promo code PubSports for manscaped.com. All right, best bets to wrap it up for this MLK special start time early edition of the NBA Pub Up. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I'll go with Miami and Atlanta under the 223. We'll make it 8 straight unders in a row between those two.
All right, there it is. Miami, Atlanta, under 223. Best bet for Skee. Wham, best bet.
Yeah, man. Best bet for me is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies minus 6.5 in the first half. Cover 5 straight times. Let's get it, man.
There you go. Memphis Grizzlies first half for Wham with his best bet. Billy, best bet.
Best bet for me is going to be New York Knicks first half money line minus 135. Top prop of the day is going to be Trae Young over 25.5 points.
All right, Trae Young over 25.5 points. And what was the other one?
New York Knicks
New
first
York
half
Knicks.
money line.
There you go. Knicks first half money line against the Raptors. There we go. Best bets for Billy Briz. My best bet: Timberwolves minus 130. I like the way they're playing. We're back on the Timberwolves Express. Get that Timberwolf fan club tattoo. All those running jokes, running gags from last year. Bring them on back today. We're back on the bus, back in the saddle, back on the bandwagon here with the Minnesota Timberwolves here. Minus 130 to get the job done at home against the Utah Jazz. That's going to be my best bet for this Martin Luther King edition of the NBA Pub Hub. That'll wrap it up. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. Reminder, we're here 5 days a week, back in our normal start time, of course, the rest of the week, 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific time.
I got to throw something up out there. Giannis just got ruled out 58 seconds ago.
All right.
Terrible.
That's I'm getting on Indiana, boys. That's what that means.
Let's go get some Indiana money, right?
Already leaning Indiana. I'm going to be betting Indiana now. No more lean. That's
Fear the deer, y'all. Fear the deer.
Well, we'll see. Can they rise up without Yanni? We'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, that is breaking news. No Giannis Antetokounmpo here for the Milwaukee Bucks here this afternoon. All right, that's a wrap. Again, we're back at our normal time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific tomorrow with Dutch, with Billy Briz and Durrell on the Tuesday edition of the show tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for Billy Briz, Skee Profit, Wham. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Martin Luther King Day on this Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of the NBA Pub Up right here on Pub Sports Radio.